Thank you so much for those that have commented on my video from yesterday. It felt really scary, not making it, but it felt scary publishing it. It always feels risky when I do something that puts me out there a bit. So yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yes, I know. She's a bit wet, so she's come in and she's wanting me to dry her. No, you'll be fine. I feel quite a bit better today, and partially is down to when I took my medication this morning, where the last 2 or 3 weeks I've been cutting down on codeine, because it's an addictive drug and I didn't want to be taking as much and it was making me constipated. I went back to my old dose of codeine, and of course I'm not feeling so much pain. It's difficult. It's a real difficult balance between what's good for you and the level that you need, and so I feel far more comfortable. I'm still struggling when I get up and walk off, and my hands still hurt. My neck's not aching so much. This was given to me by my physio from, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years ago, and it inflates, and you inflate it partially, and then I put it down behind me here when I'm sitting here. And if I'm not wearing this, I have to put the hood up, otherwise it gets hooked in the hood and that's too high. That's made a big difference, and I forget what I've got to help me. So that was good. Somebody asked me, somebody that's not commented before and may have come because, who was it? Somebody shared the video, I think it was Lionel, which was really kind, thank you. But somebody called, whose channel is Slime TV, commented and said, how did you first realise you had this? How did you get diagnosed? All my best wishes to you. Because when people start asking questions, it was nice that they ended with all my best wishes, because you start to think, but it really helped me because I replied to that. So I went back 6 or 7 years and said, this is where I was, this is what happened, whatever. And it's helped me reflect on where I am now. And where I am now is 200 times better than where I was then. When I was first diagnosed, I mean, it was a relief to be diagnosed with, then it was polymyalgia rheumatica, because you just don't know what's going on. I couldn't hang the washing up. I couldn't fold washing. When you tuck, this isn't socks. When you tuck socks in and do that really hurt me. Not here, but here. I couldn't do this, stupid things, and I couldn't do it. So it was a real relief to be diagnosed, and then subsequently immediately put on steroids, which made a big difference. But I was remembering that for at least a year or more, I still was exhausted, and that I would have to decide on what things I could do and what I couldn't. And a way of doing that was that if I stayed in night clothes and didn't get dressed, I didn't get exhausted. I didn't use that energy, and so therefore I had that energy parcel to use somewhere else. And there's a thing that you can look up, and I probably talked about it, I don't know, years ago, spoontheory, that you have a limited amount of spoons, and you use those spoons, like a shower is probably worth 2 spoons. But once those spoons have gone, you can't replace them that day. So you've used up your energy, your parcels of energy, and that's it. So you know, and so I remember that first a year, 18 months, I really was spending a lot of time, as I have been over the last week, 2 weeks, sitting, doing very little, sitting. Back then, I think Phil had bought me the PlayStation, second-hand PS3, PlayStation 3, yeah, and I just sat playing games. I don't play that now. I haven't played it for ages. Might play it later if I have to slump. But this is really helping me if I'm sitting here. I'm not feeling that I need to go and slump in front of the TV. So yeah, that was at least 18 months of really not having the energy that I've since recovered. So yeah, it really helped me think about where I've come. So actually, really, I'm doing quite well, thanks. I'm hopeful that the increased injection will improve things as well. At the moment, I'm thinking, you know, is it just that extra medication, that extra paracetamol and codeine, which is cocodamol. I don't know what it is in the States, but in England, what I'm taking is cocodamol, the equivalent. What was it I bought over there in Canada? I can't remember now what the equivalent of paracetamol was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I have made, I had to cut the onions again, so I've made chicken curry with the remains of curry paste that was in the fridge. That is a 3 chili curry paste. I don't want it to be that hot, so I'm hopeful that I can cool it down with some yogurt when I serve it. And I'm cooking in the air fryer, which you might be able to hear, baked potatoes, because we had rice yesterday, so I don't really want rice, so it'll be curry over baked potatoes. A bit weird, but we do eat weird stuff here. I've done that. Good news is that when Phil comes over next month, he's bringing my youngest grandson with him. I say youngest, he's 18, but so he's coming too. So he videoed us the other day and said, I got my passport. So that'll be good. So they'll both be here in 3 weeks' time. Yeah, that'll be good. I'm hoping that I'll feel a bit better then. I will do. I'm gonna feel better. I'm determined. I'm taking the Mac to 40 minutes away to deliver to Rob, who he's a Rob Smith IT, and he does lots of stuff. Well, that's his job. So he's been here several times sorting out my laptops or whatever. I'm going to take it to him, halfway to him, or meet him 40 minutes away with it. Because I don't actually think that he'd be able to reset it here, because I think we've reached a point of that you need another Apple device. That's where I got to when I tried yesterday. Oh, that's it. I spoke about I need to be up for that, and that's what I spoke about yesterday. Well, I was in here trying to do it, trying to sort it out, and ended up going round in circles. And I got into the cloud, great, but they kept saying, we've sent a code to your Mac. It's like, I can't get into the Mac for the code. It was like a vicious circle. I was like, So before I got really stressed out with it, which would have been pointless, I just think, no, okay, I'm going to call Rob. So that's what I did, and I'm going to meet him with it. We're going to put it in the box. Jo was very upset that we took it over to hers the other day out of the box. You haven't got it in the box. So we're going to put it in the box and take that. That's it really. Coming to the end of the hunting season. So that'll be nice. No more gunshots out there. It's wet. I don't know what the temperature is outside. Can't tell because the thing's not working. The sender decides whether it wants to or not. I'm watching that new vlog that I found and I've shared called, what's it called? Is it Domaine Sauvage? Domaine Sauvage, which is a couple from Belgium who are with their little boy Odin, who are renovating their farmhouse, doing lots of groundwork, really working hard. And I'm looking at them thinking, oh, God, I mean, I don't think I could have worked that hard even when I was their age. I wasn't somebody that was very physical, and there were times when I was. I can remember. I used to play. I played netball when I was, I think, 17 and 18. I played, for one of the teams in the town. And when I was a lot younger, I was quite athletic, and I don't know, it just became less and less physical, and then ended up doing. I mean, I nursed for a while as an auxiliary, and that was very physical. I think probably I hurt my back, and that made that a bit more difficult. So I'm not very, fit physically, wasn't ever very fit physically. And if I could put my old head on my young shoulders, if you could put an old head on young shoulders, I'd make sure that I had paid more attention to my physical fitness. It wasn't a consistent, I wasn't consistent. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. I used to walk a lot. I used to go into town. I used to do step classes. I joined a gym. Lots of stuff that I did, but it was always like a year or 2 years, and then something else came along, and life changed. And so I've never been a consistent exerciser, and I know some people are. And we were talking about old head on young shoulders. Talking to Charlie the other day when he was telling us he was coming, and he's working. He's 18 and he's working in construction. He's an apprentice, and he said, I sort of said to him, "How's it going? How's work? Whatever." And he said, "I wish I was back at school." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Well, I could be Charlie back at school. I could, be the clown, the class clown, or because he was quite rebellious at school. There were times when he was he was rebellious, and of course he can't do that now because he's out in the world and out in the world of work. And I think I remember like him learning very early on, because I was rebellious. I know you wouldn't believe it now. But I can remember when I suddenly realised, hold on, it's not like that now, I've got to do this. So that was quite interesting. But you just can't. You can't give people knowledge that they're not ready to receive. You just can't. And I know that now. But there are some times when I wish that people could take on stuff that would be useful for them to have on board, I suppose. Anyway, I'm going to go off and see how those taters are doing, and see how long this takes to upload. Uploading's been taking quite a while recently, but is it Sunday? Yeah, it's Sunday. Ludo's coming tomorrow to start the fencing, allegedly. It's been coming tomorrow for a long time, so if he turns up, that'll be a bonus. But not holding my breath. Have a nice weekend, or what's left of it. And for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, I hope you slept well and that you're waking up to a lovely Monday.